So I think a lot of people took note of the fact that you and your wife were seated during the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Was that meant to convey a statement?
It actually was. Sorry. It really wasn't. What happened was, it was not premeditated at all. Like remember now, the context. Like TMZ can tell you anything without speaking to me. I need to tell you, if it was me, I would say, yes, that's what I've done. And I think people know that about me. But what happened was, we got there, and we were sitting, and now the show's about to start. And my wife was with me, and she wanted to go great. And so she says to me, I know this feeling right here. Like she's super nervous because she performed the Super Bowl before. I haven't. I'm cool with it. And then, so we get there and we immediately jump into artist mode. So now we're looking, I'm like, did I tell you Yolanda Adams performing? And you know, I got the choir from Miami. You know, we want everyone to be involved in this, and they're the ones and all that. I'm telling them, we're talking. And now I'm really just looking at the show. So I'm looking at the show. Did a mic start? Was it too low to start? We added a bunch of sound because the sound was done for TV. So I had to explain to him as an artist, if you don't feel the music, you can't really reach that level. You can't really reach a level of performance unless you can feel the music. And it was like a big struggle to get all the sound. So I don't know if everyone noticed, there's so many speakers on the floor. And I was like, well, is there too many speakers on the floor? Should Sean be up here? And I'm looking at the iMag, and I'm like, it's too many cutaways from Yolanda. I want to see the players, but I definitely want to see when she hit that last note. It was beautiful, and they missed it. So the whole time we're sitting there, we're talking about the performance, and then right after that, Denny comes out, and we're talking about how beautiful she looked and how she sound and what she's gone through in her life. For her to be on the stage, we were so proud of her. And then, you know, it finished, and then my phone rang, and it was like, you know, you ain't just. I'm like, what? and by the way, we couldn't stage that. Blue was right next to us. We wouldn't do that to Blue and put her in that position. And if anyone knows Blue, no one knows Blue. There's no way we could. If we told her we were going to do something like that, you would have seen her tapping me 100 times. She's the kid that gets in the car and closes the door and says, "We there yet, Daddy?" You know, so she would say, "What time? Are we doing it? Are we doing it now? Are we doing it now? It's 7:05, Daddy. Are we doing it now? 7:06." She got I'm like, not a retainer. It's like a thing that like why just now? What's the thing? Expander. Shout out to me. She get an expander, and I took her to the dentist. Shout out Dr. Sammy, and she literally. They have to make it. They took a mold of her teeth, and you know, she literally got in the car and said, "When will it be ready?" I said, "Baby, it's gonna take at least a couple days." So she next day she woke up, "Is my expander ready?" Next day, I got a call from the teacher. She went to school. The teacher, Shoshana, she called me and said, "Blue says you're picking her up to go get her expander." And that's my kid. So there's no way we can plan that with her. If you look at the video, you will see that it's just a thing. And the seats were high. It just was like it just happened. And if it was something that we were making the loudest thing, I didn't have to make a silent protest. You know, if you look at the stage, the artists that we chose, look at Colombian Shaq and Puerto Rican J-Lo, we were making the loudest stands, and we had both from Jean. A commercial running social injustice at the Super Bowl. We were making the biggest, loudest protest of all. I didn't have to, given the context, I didn't have to make a silent protest.
What are your hopes for this lecture series? What would you like to see come out of it?
I think this was a great start. The conversations went from everywhere, right? There's just open dialogue and real honest conversations. Because until we have an honest conversation, we can pretend, you know, everything's okay. We can pretend and we can brush over the issue but deep dive into conversations of how we really feel. How do we feel about what's going on? What are we going to do? What are we going to try to do? Who can be a source of help? You know, how can we you know, introduce each other? Where can I be helpful? You know, I got all sorts of calls when I was starting Parchment from like street guys calling me on the phone, like, man, you know, my guy's up there locked up in Parchment. I like what you're doing. How can I help? You know, and you know, these are guys who can mobilize 10,000 real guys in the street, and you know, you could put boots on the ground, right? So these sort of conversations that need to be had in a real way. In a real way, we can all dazzle each other with language. You know, we've learned enough to play with language, but just to get down to the honesty of what's happening, and you know, just push it forward.